With Bitcoin currently, let's be honest, not putting up much of a fight against the bears, everyone wants to know if it can. Or in other words, what is going to happen next? It's a bit of a nonsensical statement, actually. Everyone always wants to know what's going to happen next. So, in determining what is going to happen next, let us take a look at what Bitcoin has done at exactly this moment, historically speaking. First analysis up comes courtesy of Timothy Peterson. Looks a bit like Bitcoin bingo. Let's play. Bitcoin returns by every month, every year of Bitcoin's existence and its performance measured. September has historically been a pretty bad one. We can see here the median losses for the month of September have totaled to 2.6% in the red. October, November, December, all in the green, however, over 10% median gains. However, despite that being the case, his analysis concludes that there is a negative momentum effect, whereby if August and September have been negative, then October has been negative too. Does this actually mean anything? Is there any point to this analysis? I don't know, but at the very least, some pretty colors. Despite chartists not being happy with what Bitcoin is doing right now, John McAfee is recently doubling down, or at this point quadrupling down, on his $1 million per Bitcoin price prediction by 2020. I said $1 million, and I'm sticking to 1. Let's get real. There are only 21 million Bitcoin, 7 million of which have been lost forever, and then, if Satoshi is dead, add a few more million. Never wanted a man to be dead. No, I'm joking. It's horrible. He's overstating, like most things. However, like most things, there is an original grain of truth that he's working from. First of all, the 7 million Bitcoin loss statement. There is a study from back in 2017 which estimated that around 4 million Bitcoin have been lost. Vast majority of it, 2.5 million, somehow got lost out of circulation, be it a laptop at the bottom of a landfill, some tossed out hard drive, someone forgetting their password even. For whatever reason, these coins have not moved in a very, very long time, and likely at this point cannot be. Then we have the estimated million Bitcoin mined by Satoshi, which also has not moved, and at this point we don't even know if it can. 7 seems like an exaggeration for the total amount of lost Bitcoin, but we don't have an exact number. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. He is absolutely correct, however, when he states that Bitcoin is a very scarce asset, and for something that we looked more specifically into in yesterday's video, an ultra hard type of money. Scarcity? Ultra hard? Ultra useful. I would say that $1 million per Bitcoin prediction is entirely possible by 2020. Let's be real. But a certain date seems like inevitability at this point.
You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability.
The only thing that would make me question if $1 million per Bitcoin is going to happen is how good Cardano is. Praise be Charles. But also, the CME Group have effectively nullified the only ever 21 million Bitcoin rule through their cash settling of Bitcoin futures and their upcoming early 2020 Bitcoin options. They have, in a very centralized way, effectively lifted the cap for Bitcoin. Potentially millions of Bitcoin, all on paper, all only useful in their centralized clearing operation, but still used by many people. How do I turn this into something, this bad situation into something good?
Hurry!
Give me your attention, baby.
The counter argument to this, of course, is it's just one country, and that many people that trade over at the CME might never have traded actual Bitcoin in the first place, and I think that at least some majority of them, that's got to be true. Another fact is that gold has the exact same issue on a much larger scale, but that has not stopped its popularity. So my own thoughts on the matter are that the CME Group can do little more than slow down Bitcoin at this point. Very little, if nothing at all, can stop it now. Now, in the news generally, many people have asked me to talk about this. The UK proposing to ban Bitcoin? I said they're not proposing that. and this is why I've not actually talked about it before. It's banning derivatives, so alternatives types of trading, and they'll reach a decision by early next year. This would essentially be a ban on BitMEX and other similar leveraged trading platforms, so you could no longer legally trade there. Does this affect me at all? No. Do I think the vast majority of people in the first place should not be trading there? Yes. Do I think it should be banned? No, of course not. Very dangerous precedent. If you don't ban gambling outright, why on earth should you ban crypto derivative trading? It just doesn't make too much sense to me. Unless you had ulterior motives, you wanted to ban Bitcoin because you feel it's anti-establishment and rocks your boat. And while you know an outright ban on Bitcoin probably wouldn't get through Parliament right away, maybe you could get this in, and then it makes it a little bit easier to do other things in the future. Now, if the UK ever did ban Bitcoin, I'm out of here. Probably a few more people will be following me as well. I just don't really think that's likely. But anyway. Bad news if you use Coinbase. Fees for transactions below $10,000 are going from 0.15% to 0.5%, described as a slight fee increase that sees the fees on the platform for every trade increase by 233%, which just continues Coinbase's mantra of seemingly being desperate for money. This now makes other exchanges like Binance, Kraken, Gemini cheaper options for buying Bitcoin. HitBTC is theoretically your cheapest option for buying Bitcoin from a major exchange, but in reality, it's probably your most expensive because they're a scam. So many people having problems withdrawing from their platform, stay away. But my fees. Speaking of fees surrounding Bitcoin, SegWit, the optional protocol upgrade which sets the foundation for future upgrades for Bitcoin, removes a bug that was in the Bitcoin protocol and also reduces fees to boot, has seen a significant surge in usage recently. Adoption of SegWit, which started off as a slow burner, is now accounting for over half of all transactions on the blockchain at 55%. In order to increase that to 100%, we will need more support from major exchanges. Looking at you, Binance. And CZ is looking right back, saying, how about the end of Q1 2020 for SegWit adoption? It's about time. It's not like any of us want a return to $10 plus fees every time Bitcoin wants to go on a rampage upwards. Did that video make sense in context? No, but I thought it was funny. Can we see it again? Funnily enough, I feel that the stories about Coinbase charging more fees and SegWit reducing fees are somehow correlated. Any third party involved in Bitcoin might feel the squeeze, as future protocol upgrades will see middlemen make less and less money ideally. So a fee hike may be a sign of fear, and that is good for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Is that while analysis in the past has not been spot on, not at all in some points, being totally honest, the overall picture is quite an accurate one. In fact, one of the most accurate price prediction models we currently have for Bitcoin. A simple way of putting it is that the stock to flow ratio is the road on which a drunkard, Bitcoin's market value, staggers around without ever crashing out through the road barriers.
Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart.